Hey, you guys. This is Ruth from Kindle Reads, and for some reason, I have to illustrate that this is a live show. So all my thoughts are kind of formulated on the fly, like usual. That's kind of how I do my discussions, anyways. It's nice that I can edit them out, when I kind of make a snafu. But whatever. I really do like live shows because I have an opportunity to interact with you guys on the fly, like while we're talking about a pressing topic, and it also allows us to kind of morph the conversation that we're having based off of the direction that we're going. And of course, I forget to kind of mute my own audio. I leave that up as far as people are concerned. I also have my live show running on the YouTube because the Google thing doesn't necessarily work too well. I haven't actually checked on it in about a month or so, but the last month, it just, you can't really reply to people. And so there is a handy dandy Hangouts toolbox that is available when you're doing a Google Hangouts, but it usually isn't working. But surprisingly, I don't know if it is or not. I think the source code thing is working, but whatever. So I just usually leave the live show on another station, and I check it from time to time. So that way, if you decide to leave a comment there, I at least know, that you left a comment, and I can reply, and the conversation, like I said, can morph as we have a conversation. Now I'm going to take off this ridiculous lower toolbar because you know who I am by now. So today, I'm going to bring up a topic that I wanted to do for a while. And technically, I was supposed to have this conversation literally 3 weeks ago, but then I decided, funny thing is, Frenchie D, who is an amazing booktuber, and she invited me to be a part of the Black History Month event that she was doing. And so 3 weeks ago, I was supposed to actually do a video about the same topic, Are We Relevant? And it's not within just the frameworks of Booktube. I'll get to that in a second. But instead, I really got caught up in that latest book, and I really did enjoy doing it. And I need to make more because I said I was going to do a winter edition, and I think winter is almost over. It's basically March, so we're in spring. So I don't know about that. But anyways, and then last week, Friday, I was supposed to do it, but then apparently my whole family was off, and you guys really don't want to see a live show and like kids jetting by, and my focus is not really on you. And so that's why today, Wednesday, which is when I usually do live shows, by the way, I decided to jump on, and it won't be for long, even though I do feel like this is an important topic. Since this since the show is completely unannounced, like I'm pretty sure no one knows that I'm doing it. If you happen to be on Twitter when I tweeted it out, like literally 5 seconds ago, then you might know. Or for some reason you're on YouTube while you're at work, or maybe you have the day off and you see that there's a live running event, you might join in. So, are we relevant? That's basically the topic of the day. And this is basically a reply video. Mostly 99.9% to Librarian fan mail. I really do enjoy her channel, or I also enjoy her channel, I guess that's a better phrase. Basically, this all kind of started over Twitter. And we're bringing up the conversation of, do you feel like you're forced to make content, and not just forced to make content? And the reason why I say forced is because you have to have new content every week, or sometimes more than that. I think when I first started my Booktube channel, I didn't necessarily feel forced to make Booktube content, but I did understand the importance of being present within the frameworks of my channel as far as releasing continual content, so that way people can know that that I was actually there. And that's the thing. Do you need to feel like you're there? And are we irrelevant, or do we feel like we have to always be making more content? And I'm going to take this from both the perspective of a content creator, because I think sometimes when we think of Booktube, we don't necessarily consider ourselves YouTube creators, content creators. And I think part of that is with our identity associated with Booktube. Like, this is our corner, this is our niche, and this is what we do. And it is our corner, and it is what we do. Don't get me wrong about that, just because there are certain videos that you, I guess, I don't want to say expect, but there is a sense of, there's a certain amount of content that if you say you run a Booktube channel, more than likely you have one of the 4 things within your rotation of things that you do, which is either a haul, either a book review, book tag is something else that we typically like to do. And I think I'm missing like one other thing. I think unhauls or something else that we do. But in the gist, we basically show off books. Like we feel like we have to be doing that, and for us to be Booktube, you know, or call ourselves Booktubers. But the thing is, if we do that, sometimes you might pigeonhole yourself a little bit, because if you say I do Booktube and I am a content creator, I think it makes you feel more daring to be creative with even the normal content that we do. I'm sorry, it's raining here, so it's kind of dark. That's why I have like the focus on, because for some reason when I put the setting on focus, it kind of brightens up, but everything gets fuzzy. Sorry about that. But so yeah, relevance. So I don't know, I kind of spun off on something else there, but are we relevant? That brings up the conversation of, do we still need to feel like we need to make content every day? I'm sorry, I haven't eaten yet. You guys are joining me during breakfast. It's a kitchen conversation. Thank you for the couple of people who are watching live. I don't even know. It's kind of spontaneous. And you can always reply to my Twitter. I have my phone right next to me, so if a little tweet thing goes off, I will be aware. So back to Librarian Fan Mail's conversation. So do we feel like we're forgotten when we don't make content? And I should be there. I think I didn't make content for almost a month. A lot of that was not because I necessarily didn't feel like making content. I'm pretty sure 2 of those weeks I really didn't feel like making content. But the other weeks within that month period was because, you know, life takes over. You get a new job. Of course, you have to be ever focused because you want to do well. You're trying to remember everyone's name at work, and you just suck at remembering people's names. So then that's something else that you're doing, and you just want to do well. And so you take work home. You know, everyone knows who has a new job. There's certain things that you do so you can do well, especially in the beginning, because, you know, first impressions, they definitely are lasting things. So you kind of remember people by how you met them a lot of the times. And so I had a new job, and so it was, you know, couldn't really be on here as much as I would like as far as recorded content, because I also caught the bus at the time, and so I couldn't necessarily make video content because I literally maybe had 2 hours to myself. And of course, I love Booktube, but if you think about it, if I have 24 hours and technically I only literally have 2 hours to myself, I'm not going to devote it to Booktube. I'm going to actually probably devote it to reading books, or because, you know, how am I going to have content to give you if I'm not reading books, you know? Or I'm going to spend it to myself, lying in bed, relaxing, massaging, I don't know, catching up on Scandal or something. You know, I'm not necessarily going to devote it to this because I wouldn't be able to give you the best of anything with, you know, me giving you guys an hour and then I have an hour, you know. Let me check something right quick, you guys. I'm always checking something when I'm on my live show. I'm sorry for the clicking in advance. I know my freaking thing is super clicky. So, hey, got to deal sometimes. And so I keep getting off topic. I don't know. It's just such a hard topic to talk about whether we have to feel like we always have to make content in order to remain relevant within our sphere. And let me tackle this thing from a viewer point of view, because yes, I make video content, but most of the time when I'm on YouTube, is because I'm watching other people's content. Like, after you edit a video and you upload it onto YouTube, there's not much that you personally have to do to maintain the video anymore besides putting in a title. Oh gosh, stupid thing. Putting in a title, putting in a description, tagging the video, so that way if someone types in those keywords, hopefully your video shows up within that framework. Jotting some little thing on, the side, and basically that's it from your point of view. Of course, you can edit the video a little bit afterwards on YouTube, but I don't necessarily. So there's not much that you can do. So basically, when you're on YouTube, you're watching other people's content. And so, as a viewer, there are certain channels that I love, and when they have weekly content, I tune in every week. Might not be on the day that they release that video, but I know by the weekend or whenever I have the time off, I'm going through their rotation because I know that there is a new video there. And I do like knowing when there's a video. Take, for instance, what's the guy? I like Charlie or Charlie something. You guys know who I'm talking about. He's like super popular. He rocks my glasses. I had these glasses first, Charlie. I'm just kidding. But he doesn't release videos every week or anything like that. But Booktube does a great job. I don't know, or sorry, I keep calling YouTube Booktube. YouTube does a great job of notifying you of like super popular booktubers whenever they release something when you're subscribed to them for some reason. But anyways, when his videos do come up, I was like, sometimes I miss a video, and so when I do, like when I'm accidentally, on YouTube at the same time that he releases a new content, and I see, oh man, I missed like 3 videos after that, and I watch that because there's not a weekly thing. But then there is this vlog type couple. I'm blanking on what their channel name is. I should probably post that in there, but they do a video literally every day. And so sometimes at the end of the day, I will just, jump on and watch them because I know every day they have a content. So as a viewer, it is nice when there's weekly content. I can't lie, but I'm also not really upset when there isn't. I feel lost if the channel has a weekly setup where they're like every Wednesday on the dot they have a video, and so I'm making a pointing thing at me. Every Wednesday on the dot they have a video, and so a Wednesday comes and you don't see a video. You're like, what the hell happened? I'm missing my dose of blank, whatever it is that you typically like to watch. But am I upset as a viewer? No, not necessarily. Sometimes I'm probably more concerned than upset. I'm like, oh man, they're always on at this time. Is everything okay? And become concerned with the person that you're subscribed to. And so when you turn that back as a video content creator, sometimes you feel like you owe your viewers that weekly material or whatever it is for that week, when it shouldn't necessarily be that way, because when you create videos, you're sharing with others. And depending on what format of video that you're doing, you might be sharing more or less of yourself, but it's still a part of yourself that you're sharing with people. And so you shouldn't feel like you're under the gun to share yourself with someone. And sometimes you might be taxed out, or sometimes there might not be anything that you have to necessarily say. And so you don't really just want to make blasé, content just for the sake of making blasé content. Like a filler. Like, come on. I hate fillers, females. And sometimes I feel like we do fillers, aka tags, but the tags are fun, but sometimes I feel like we just do the fillers because we feel like we need to stay relevant. And with video content, particularly, you feel like you always have to be on to remain relevant. What I'm saying, that's not necessarily true. I think another one of my favorite booktubers, she hasn't released a video content in a while. Sometimes it'd be months, and she tells everyone on there that she does have some issues and things going on with her life, like when she gets back, which is completely understandable, which is what I'm getting at. Things happen in life, so you can't like really push videos all the time. But when she comes back, I'm just as in tune to her as I was before she left. Is what I'm getting. It's not like I got, oh, well, she left for a while and now I've forgotten about her. The thing is, when you don't make video content in a while, you might be off my radar as far as I'm not looking for you. In a sense, you kind of will reappear, and then I'll be like, there you are once again, and I'm back in tune with your channel. And I think that's how we should kind of perceive how we make content. I think we should make the best content that we can. I feel like we shouldn't burn ourselves out because we necessarily feel like we owe something to someone or something like that, because your subscribers and the people who watch you, constantly, I feel like they are with you 100% as far as if you're there or if you're not there. They're still in tune to your channel when you do come back. They're not going to be like, oh, snap. Now all of a sudden that you came back, I'm not interested in what you have to say. And I don't know. That's mostly the gist of my conversation. I don't know if you guys wanted to chime in with anything. Let me go check my feed. Well, okay, there's nothing going on. By the way, you should probably watch this on YouTube if you're watching this on Google Plus, because I don't think it lets you drop any comments. Or you can jump on the Twitter if you have anything to say as far as feeling relatable or are you relevant, basically, if you're not making video content all the time. So yeah, that was it. Oh, there was another video this week, you guys. It was about basically female booktubers being like, excuse how I look. I'm like, hey, I woke up like this. Oh my gosh, and I did totally a hot mess. And I feel like this is me. This is genuinely me. And I think viewers kind of appreciate you. Like, I do understand being dolled up. And for some people, that is a part of their regimen. Do you? And that's the whole thing about Booktube. I think people are most genuine or most encapsulated or most intrigued by the person they're watching when they feel like they're watching the person as they are when the camera is not on, which is not necessarily true, by the way, but for the most part, because when you make videos, and this is a content creator type thing, we understand when we make videos that you can edit, and so you can present the best self or the best version of yourself to the people who are watching you. And people, and as a viewer, I never really believed that. Like, content creators would say this all the time, like, you see the best version of me, you don't really know me, blah, blah, blah. And then I started making video content, and I was like, nah, I still have to believe that, this is me. But then as I started getting better and better with editing, you can see this video right here that I'm making right now would have been edited to hell to kind of skip over things that I repeated twice because I didn't pronounce it with the correct flow the first time, or any pauses, or the times when I'm actually eating, like, good. And so I feel like the live show is probably the most genuine version of me that you're going to get. Because I can't really edit this crap. But it's who I am, and I think people log into my channel because sometimes I do creative things. I'm a poet. Like, my live shows, right now I should look up a quote. I totally forgot that I was going to do this, but at the end of my videos, I would like to leave some type of saying or quick sonnet, and sometimes they'll be by me, and sometimes they'll be by other writers, and I think it's very cool that you get to know the poetic side of me. I'm not poetic all the time, but when I do choose to be, I like to play music, even though I'm not a great musicianist, I guess. I should probably actually practice, but I don't. But I do like playing music. So sometimes I come on here and I'll play music, you guys, just because I feel like music. Like, when I'm having a crappy day, to be honest, I'll sit in my room, I'll look up They'll be the guitar. And I feel like I can play through my emotions, even if I'm playing not the best. But hey, and I'm a reader, which is why I have a Booktube channel, and I get to talk to you guys about some of the lovely books that I read. I still have to do a review on These Stars. What is it? These Broken Stars. That's the book that I read, and it's YA this year already. I'll tell you guys more about that in that, an actual review. And I'm looking for the next book. I've been reading a little bit about, at least I read the sample of Octavia Butler's Kindred, I believe. Yeah, Kindred. Interesting writing style. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. But I am intrigued from where the sample left off. I also have The Blacker the Better, Berry, the Sweeter the Juice. I picked up the sample. I'm kind of in between books right now. I have like a whole bunch of samples on my Kindle, and I'm trying to sift through something to read. Maybe I'll pick up an adventure novel. Don't know. But you see, that's also a part of me. I'm a reader. That's why I have this channel. That's why you guys tune in mostly. Watch this stuff. And then what else am I? I'm a writer, I guess. I have a book somewhat that's been in intermission for a while. I should probably actually get back to that eventually. But I write stuff from time to time, I guess. I'm a great listener. I'm an aunt, so I have to care and have responsibilities for them, even though they're not my kids, but still, they're 25% of my blood. So, there's different versions of ourselves. Some people are moms, some people who watch this who are the guys, they're dads. You whatever your job is, because technically whatever you do at work, you do it for 8 hours. So it's almost impossible for that not to be a part of who you are. So I don't know. There's just so many levels of who we are, and with editing, you kind of get to pick which version of yourself you get to see. But I definitely feel like people are going to subscribe to you. People are going to want to tune in and lock into the person that they fell for, and hopefully the person that they fell for is you, because it's impossible to like just keep up a fake charade all the time. Just be yourself. Don't doll yourself up. That's where I'm getting at, because there was that video that she's did about people coming on here and be like, sorry for how I look, when you just woke up like that. Hey, that's you. Like, really, just be yourself. Wear your black tea, which, whatever. Come on here with your juice. There's not tea in here, you guys. This is some Sunny D, okay? Sunny D is a little sweet, by the way, but I don't know. It's been a while since I had it. But Sunny D, there's no coffee in here. Don't let this mug fool you, okay? I don't even do coffee like that, but I do have a coffee mug because that's how I roll. This is who I am. I put juice or whatever I like drinking. It might even be the Publix iced tea, which Publix, you need to stop coming out with that quarter ounce. You need a full gallon of that raspberry iced tea. If you agree, leave a like about that iced tea. And I put it in this cup and I drink it because it has a handle and it's very cool and I love it. That's just who I am. And I eat bananas, even though I hate bananas, but apparently, you're supposed to have some potassium in you. And I don't like the sun, which is why I'm also drinking Sunny D, even though I don't think it does have any vitamin D in it. Technically, you can only get vitamin D from the sun, unfortunately. So I do have to go outside. And so that is it for me. If you guys have anything to say, don't be afraid to drop anything down below. This was kind of, hopefully it wasn't a dig to anyone, because usually all the time, I never have any intent. Let me put it this way. I don't have any intent to offend anyone when I make a video at all. That's never my motive or objective. So if anyone feels salty after a video, I think self-reflect, because I never have anyone in mind when I make a video. I just usually have a conscious thought that I want to get out. And with the live channel, there's no way I can edit some of the crap that comes out. So it might seem poignant to one person or group or whatever, but it isn't. This is just, how do we help each other? That's the whole point of my discussions. How do we help each other? How do we feel we can make better content? And I think we will make better content if we don't feel like you're forced to make content. I'll tell you this. I make some of the best work when I feel like I need to do something, and I'll clarify that. If I have a paper that I have to write, I'm no longer in school, but this is just an analogy. If I had a paper to write for a teacher, or in my latter years, mostly, if I had an experiment I had to run and I had to get results for, and the results weren't turning out right, and I was under the gun. Basically, I have 2 hours to get this crap to work. I will write the best sonnets of my life during that time period, because I feel like I will I do better at the things that I don't feel like I'm forced to do. So when I feel like I'm forced to do this, I feel like I'm more creative in other areas, because at that time there is no pressure at all for me to be great in those other areas. I can just be me. And I feel like if we take that approach to our video making, if we don't feel like we're under the gun to do a haul video, if you don't feel like you're under the gun to do a review, because technically, we have the more elitist group within our community. Like, if you're not doing book reviews, you ain't. and we have the more lighter side. And if you're not doing haul videos, then you're not fun. You know what I mean? And there is a healthy medium between all of these contents that we do within here. And so don't feel the pressure. You are relevant. You always will be relevant. And I think one of the great things, I was kind of thinking post-mortem a little bit. I know I'm supposed to be getting off, but I was thinking, my birthday was this weekend, you guys. Thank you in advance for all the birthday wishes that will be dropped in the comments. Thank you. I'm a year older. I'm going to spread my age on YouTube. But I was starting to think, what if I don't do YouTube content anymore? And maybe 10, 50, well, probably 50 years from now, what if I'm not here on this earth anymore? My niece, nephews, kids, probably in the future, they'll be able to view this, and they'll be able to hear me and hear me articulate myself and hear me talk and hear my voice again. And my mother passed away when I was younger. And one of the things that they say that you lose the soonest, or I guess the earliest, is you kind of lose their voice, as far as you can see them, but you can't remember how they sound. And I know it sounds strange, but it is true. And as the years have gone on, I found that I've sometimes found that I dissociate myself. Like, I'll be like, oh, that's my sister's mom, and it's not my mom anymore. And I feel shitty about that, but I'm working through that somewhat. Birthday issues. But anyways, you lose some of the things that you remember. Like, I definitely can still remember my mother. She didn't pass away when I was an infant or anything. She passed away when I was 12. So I still remember how she looks. I remember her smile, but I can't remember her voice. So it's great that I have this video content here. And as long as the platform is still here, they'll have those videos. And my videos, when I do actually edit them and things like that, I have a backup drive. So just in case, because one time YouTube did decide to shut down my videos, or no, I think it shut down my channel for a day for something ridiculous. That was that was YouTube's issue and not necessarily my channel's issue. And then they brought my channel back up, but when my channel was down, I felt like all my work, everything that I've accumulated, all my thoughts, they were erased. There's no way for someone to come back and view them. And so that's why I back up my stuff now. But they can go back and they can view that. They can hear me hear me talking, and know that I said in a live show that I love them. Stuff like that, So don't feel like you're irrelevant. You always will be relevant. Just because you don't make videos, it doesn't make you less relevant. Just because you don't do, and I guess bring it back in the form of Booktube videos, if you don't do a certain thing within the frameworks of our niche, within our corner in YouTube, you're still relevant. I believe you'll stay relevant even if no one's watching you, because I don't think that how many viewers you have or how many people are subscribed to you dictates how valuable the content that you're saying or presenting is. It's kind of up to the people who view them that will determine how, valuable what you have to say is to them in that particular moment. But you are relevant. That's what I'm going to say. You are relevant no matter what you're doing. Just keep making content. And if you don't even make content, even in life, you're relevant. Don't feel like you're irrelevant just because, you don't have a flock of people following you, or you don't have 1,000 people on Twitter, or maybe at work, you don't interact with that many people. So you feel like what you have to say is irrelevant. Speak your mind, talk, interact with people the best way you can. And the people who do interact with you, they know that you are relevant. I just think that people don't necessarily voice how important people are in their lives until literally it's too late and the person's no longer here and you're like, oh, I love you. By then, it's too late. So just make sure that we spread the love, let everyone know. And I'm glad I did this video, letting you guys know how relevant you are. So keep it up. I'm gone. If you do have something to say, we'll be on this Twitter thing all day because it alerts me. So drop a Twitter feed if you want to consider. See, I would edit that out. You see that? I will continue this conversation via Twitter and also in the comment box of this video whenever it uploads onto YouTube. Sorry for the funny picture that's going to be on there because I do have to get ready for work, so there's no way. I'm not editing this video at all. As far as putting a proper thumbnail or something like that, that won't be until later. Or tagging this video properly, so I might not get any views, but it doesn't mean that it's less important as something that I've gotten 1,000 views on. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But all right, you guys. Peace.